It's also on the south
On
side.
that, on one
Yeah.
side too.
There's one letter with a bunch of
It's a heavily used
bullet
station.
points like this, just laying out these, that people are complaining about this. Instead of doing separate letters, we'll do one, we'll add that into the
Maybe
letter.
they need to add an overpass.
Or maybe an additional overpass.
But you see, if
Yeah, towards
But-
the
but-
east end of the
but-
platform.
But, I mean, if there's a railroad crossing, you can run across that grade, where you have to go up the stairs and down the stairs. What are people gonna do?
Well, they're also eliminating a bunch of crossings, grade crossings. right?
No, that's further
No,
down.
no.
Yeah, you're thinking.
No, we're
that's
talking
okay. This is-
around
yeah.
Concord Brain.
Right.
So there's nothing planned right now, it's done, what's done is
Yeah.
done for now. It's just, it is interesting. But-
Anything else in, that you're hearing?
No, other than that, that's basically the biggest issue that I hear every morning from the passengers. Yeah.
Well, does it delay the train? Are like all
No,
these
it
people
doesn't,
running
no, it
across-
doesn't. Well, some of them are running, some of them actually get caught between the, I mean, not that they should be, but they'll like start walking and then the thing drops right behind them, they'll cross.
Oh, when they're on the tracks?
Yeah,
But
so,
isn't it illegal to go through there anyway? So
exactly.
they can get ticketed for going that way also.
When the lights are flashing,
Once the lights are
which
flashing,
the lights
you
are
That's what I'm
flashing.
talking about, so they can get ticketed
I know
for
someone
that.
who did get a ticket for crossing in
So that's-
Queens on the Port Washington Bridge at Little Neck, because he was running, he was doing exactly that.
Yeah,
So, we're not gonna complain about that in that specific way, because what will happen is,
They'll be ticketing.
they'll be ticketing, and in some ways rightly so. Because it is it's a dangerous thing to do, whether you're in a car, you're in a vehicle, or you're walking, when the flashing lights are going, because especially running, I could just, something's gonna happen, because people, they see the train,
That's- I think
they're
that's
running
their
for it,
concern.
right? And what about a train in the other
What
direction?
about
Those the
two-
lights are flashing and the gate's going down, probably because there's a train going eastbound.
But what about on the inclement weather when there's snow on those tracks and they're trying to walk over? Like
Yeah.
it happened to me last winter
Yeah.
where I was walking and I almost slipped. But this was like, in the evening coming home.
They should build a bridge and not let anybody walk across, that's what
Yeah.
they should do.
And
Make
there's-
people use the overpass.
And there's also like a little station there and the guy that normally works that little station, their little shops or
Yeah,
whatever.
yep.
He's getting like no business in that spot because no one has time to actually stop in and get the coffee and.
Yeah, when the
Ticket
train used to come in on the
machine
south
is-
side, he was right there. Now
Oh,
everybody's going to
so
the north side,
Now he's on the.
and he's on the
Yeah.
south side,
He's on the
so.
evening side,
And
and
then the ticket machines are also on that side too.
he's gotta
so
do,
people gotta-
he's
Yeah.
gotta get a liquor license and open in the evening.
Yeah.
He needs a truck, he needs to just go mobile,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, that's another solution, but I didn't say that, Billy, because if he gets a liquor license and he opens
No,
the evening,
no.
that would be bad too, because people getting off the train, they're
Yeah.
getting in their cars.
Don't tell Mitch.
Which
Yeah,
is why,
yeah,
right,
well,
municipality municipality is very much against us serving alcohol anywhere, probably even including Penn Station.
So the ticket machines you said are only on the north side?
No,
they're
south
on the
side.
south
On
side.
the south side.
Yeah.
Which up until
Oh,
like,
the ticket
they
machine's
finished
only
the
on the
second
south
track.
side?
Yeah.
It's the same problem at Farmingdale.
Oh, why they, oh.
No, it's always been like that.
Always-
well,
It's always been on the, basically, on the eastbound
Yeah,
side.
there's only been one
and then it's
track.
going the west.
But they only used one track at those stations, didn't they?
No,
Those
two tracks.
stations always had
That had
two?
two tracks.
Those stations always
I
had
always,
two.
I always, I always
Farmingdale
complain
always
about
had
that issue.
Okay.
All the tickets were on the eastbound when people in the morning, so you have to go underground, get a ticket and come and run back up.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
what they
that they
used to
put one in, no.
And last I seen.
What possessed them to put a ticket machine in the
They're-
path of
they're-
least travel?
Their answer is always, well, everyone's going to mobile ticketing anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's always
Hmm.
their answer. That's where we're going that way anyway, so. I won't-
Oh, that's not for years now, they take so long to do it, that's bullshit. But why'd they do it to begin with, I'd love to know. There's a reason. It's a long story. I don't know what it is, but it's always, every time I ask a question and you finally find out why, it's a long story.
So I just wanted to tell you that we originally were having the president of ERRCC come today.
Okay.
But what happened was we started getting people who were sick and not be able to come. I just thought it wasn't right to do it that big. We want to do a presentation on the fall and winter prevention
Yeah.
that they're doing, the new technology. And I thought it really should be the whole council and it really wasn't right to do it with 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
So I just asked them to come.
Yes, there was a
Next meeting.
procurement to buy new equipment, just, on the board agenda, so it'd be interesting to hear about. Actually, it'd be interesting to hear after the first snowstorm, how they think it worked.
Well, they've got the lasers for the leaves.
Yeah, right.
They're packed in
Yeah,
to
that's-
zap the packed
yeah.
in from the leaves.
But now the big Black Beauty or whatever it was that was clearing snow got into an accident last year. Is it back in service, or do we know,
I don't know,
or I guess we'll find out
guess it is.
next
We'll
month.
find out November 1st.
Yeah. Can I just do a quick communications thing?
Sure. Of course.
All right, Sheila probably thinks I dropped off the face of the earth, because I used to send her emails, 2-3 times a week about communications issues. To be honest, over the last month, there has apparently a pretty good improvement with the day-to-day communications. Now, I don't know what's happening on board when there's situations, but I know the railroad has been very good about alerting people. I mean, they almost blow up your phone sometimes with the things. So that's why you haven't been getting anything from me. And on the other case, I don't wanna seem to be too picayune either and just picking at, nitpicking at little minor things, cause I'm just looking for the major items. One thing, it would be nice to try and get an update on, as far as communications. They went away from trains being late 6 minutes or whatever, now with the new thing over the last few months is the ETAs. But they haven't refined it yet. It's still, they said they had some refinements to do. It'd be nice to see when they'll finally get the refinements done so that they're accurate, or more accurate than they are now. Because we still have situations where I'll get off the train in Patchogue and see that my train is gonna arrive in 2 minutes. Oh, we're here. Or you'll see a train boarding and why are we looking at the lights? It's a mile down the tracks and things saying that we're boarding already. So I know it has to do with GPS and all that other stuff, but it would be just nice to know,
Does it?
Well, that was my understanding of it, that it was all GPS.
So I thought they were using, then it is, because it's not, I thought they were using the signal system. The hard signal
Just my personal
system to do it.
opinion on it, my personal opinion, if it's something like that, 2 minutes, 1 minute, at the station,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a big deal. What I think is a big deal is the app.
yeah.
If the app isn't correct,
Yeah.
because people, that's what you're using to rush to the train,
Yeah.
not rush to the
But the
train.
information comes from the same place.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's
the
what I'd like to
information
check,
comes from the
that's what I
same-
want, that's
yeah.
the thing we should check.
No, you're right,
That's-
because it's
that's
showing
more.
you have 2
That's
minutes,
more.
you're like, oh, I'm in the parking lot, it's cold, I'll wait here, and then I'll walk up, it takes me a minute to walk up, I'll walk up, well, the train shows up, it's happened to people, the
So,
train
if
shows, you're like,
they-
what the hell
If they're on
is?
the same thing, then we
Yeah.
should find out, maybe they're separate.
Yeah, because when, if you issue information, people start to rely on it, and that's, Transit's had this
Yeah.
issue for a long time, and it's been,
Well, on the subway, even the
Yeah.
countdown clocks will say one thing, the app will say something else.
Yeah.
So they've been having a lot of problems with those, so maybe it's part of the technology.
It'd be nice just to get an inquiry to see, where they're at with this, and the marrying of the systems to see why, you might get.
they are using 2 different systems.
Yeah, so you might get something on an app where you're gonna get something different in the station.
Woodside seems fine, to
I-
me, I don't know, I haven't had
Don't,
an issue, but.
I don't know whether I mentioned this at the last meeting, but we're getting some better verbal, communications on the platforms, particularly at Jamaica. We've been hearing announcements, particularly on the Montauk branch trains. Please move to the center of the track, and they'll actually tell you, move ahead, be sure that you're standing between the escalators and the on-track waiting area to catch your train. Because my train that I catch in the afternoons is a 4-car train, and that's exactly where it platforms. So that you don't have people way down one end of the platform or somebody way up in the front of the platform. They never made those announcements before.
Right.
So now you're starting to hear them, and it does make a difference, particularly on a Friday,
On Fridays
when
in
you have
summer.
more people, and even Fridays now, you're
Yeah.
still getting decent crowds, and people are spread out all over the place. So, that's an improvement. And then, one thing that I wanted to mention, but there's nobody from the railroad here, maybe we could just put it in the minutes, is as good as they've been about announcements, they should have had an email blast about like Columbus Day.
Yes.
Most people generally assume that if you're not getting mail and the banks are
There's
closed,
a lot of confusion on the holidays.
that it's a holiday. And, the trains are probably running on a holiday schedule, they
Right.
ran on the regular
They're not.
schedule, which is fine, I'm not complaining about that. I'm
But
just
let
saying,
people know,
all they really need to do.
every holiday they have to do it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, because every holiday is different,
But you know what, I remember in the past they used to do this, in some cases it was a little bit annoying, cause you'd get like 4 alerts about this within the 24-hour period. And I was like, well, all right, it's too much, but I'm not gonna complain about too much. But it does seem to be a, I don't know, ad hoc, it's still ad hoc, the way we get information. You know, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
One.
Yeah, but that's when you really need to know.
Absolutely.
Cause I was wondering that too myself.
Yeah, because there are some, I mean,
I just know from having missed the train too many times that it's a regular schedule and not a weekend schedule.
yeah. Washington's birthday is another one that falls into that. Oddly enough, last year, Martin Luther King Day, they ran a holiday schedule, but it was a quote-unquote modified holiday schedule, in that they ran a holiday schedule, but because they knew a lot of people were commuting,
Yeah.
they were adding 2 or 3 trains. I just noticed particularly on the Ronkonkoma branch. Montauk branch, we just ran a regular holiday schedule. But they added like 2 trains in the morning and 2 trains in the afternoon on the Ronkonkoma branch. But it would just be nice to know, and all I'm asking for is just an email blast, that, you know, Monday's Columbus Day, but we will be running on a regular schedule, you know.
Different note, we had made years back posters for every, and the railroad put it in every waiting room about the council. And, we made them, you know, this, we've been asking for last year, because, you know, especially with the new waiting rooms and everything, they're all gone, because, so, in the past, we printed them, but I think last year the railroad, they would print them up and put them up. So we have to just follow up and see what's happening with that, because they should be, especially now that all these new waiting rooms are up, we want to blanket the whole system again, with who we are and what we are, and
Yep.
every waiting room and Jamaica had them up before, and, you know, they're not around anymore.
And the waiting rooms that do have them, you know, show the old 347 Madison address on them.
And probably everybody has, you know, interesting things drawn on their faces.
Nobody usually behind glass, even lucky.
What's that there?
How about music on the platforms? People are complaining about that.
No, what?
Muzak?
Yeah, I don't think they're complaining, they're just saying it's unnecessary. It's not very soothing. When people try to
Music.
talk on the phone, they now have music on the platforms every morning.
Well, only
Oh,
certain,
really?
only certain
That's
stations.
the new ones, we have that. and
That's so funny.
I haven't heard of it.
It's,
What's on?
it's just,
I haven't heard it.
Oh, they would never do it at a city station because this building's too close. People would, people.
But I haven't heard it at Patchogue.
No, we don't have it out in the
we
sticks.
have
Well, maybe,
it, and
are
it's
there
sound,
people living
it's,
nearby? Because that would drive, if I live near a station, that's,
it sounds like a nice idea, but people are trying to get on the phones and everything, and they don't want the music.
Well, it depends, maybe you don't wanna hear the person next to you on the phone yelling at
No,
somebody
they
and
just,
the music.
look, they just talk louder because of the music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
That's
they
all, they
just
don't have to
over
stop
it.
talking.
They'll
And
talk.
is it,
Did you say Sayville or Bayshore?
no, I think he said Belmore?
He's at Belmore.
He's at Belmore.
Right.
And that was a new.
Probably, so I would think Babylon branch stations are candidates for this because they're very crowded and what the hell.
I'm just wondering, is
Bradley,
it,
you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna look through my emails to know that Bill had been talking to Hector,
Alright.
so I'm gonna look through that and see what correspondence happened, and
About
last I
the posters?
remember, he said that they did go out, but I will follow up with him and make sure that did happen.
And make sure that it gets updated with the right address.
Right, oh yeah, it's all been updated, so.
I don't know if we wanna put our new Long Island address too.
And I don't know if at your guys' particular stations, if you notice if there are signs or not signs.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
check. I know there's one in Patchogue, but I wanna see if it's a new one that says 2
Yeah.
Broadway or it's an old one that says 347
Yeah.
Madison on it.
They may not
Oh, I
wanna
haven't
put it in
noticed
the
one.
waiting room, I don't
Not that
know.
I-
So they
there's
put
no-
some,
If
if
They'd
there's
have to
nothing,
put
they
up
may not
signs
want
that
to,
would
but they'd find
say
someplace to
people
put it in the
know.
station.
If the waiting rooms close at
Too
2,
much.
Yeah.
do we want it in
Yeah,
the, in
visual
there, or do we
noise
want it at one of the
I'd
outside
have to actually hunt for it.
boards or something?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe we can look at different sizes for them
We just
also.
want, we need a place where people can't have access to writing on it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Right.
Oh, put it in a
Supporting, we
case.
don't want that.
Well, they said that
And-
in the case.
If they're a case, that's what I'm saying, we need
Yeah.
to see station by station, some may just be out there, we don't.
I also noticed that our older posters were bigger, and then Hector told us they could be only a certain size, so the
For
posters
them to make it or to hang it up?
to hang it up, so now the posters compared to the older ones are smaller. I would prefer if they were bigger, but.
Yeah, the old ones
So
were
maybe that's-
large.
Yeah, and also make sure the color we have, because we don't want to blend in with the railroad's coloring with their posters.
Right.
That's why we made sure we had a different color.
Right.
But if
And
we
different
just don't look
graphic
at it,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want
Sounds silly, but you know what, people are just.
Yeah.
Well, we wanna
And then they
make it-
glaze over it, they
Right.
totally miss the point.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, there's so much visual noise at some of these
Yeah.
stations, you
Yeah.
know, people don't look.
One quick question, I hope it don't sound silly. The MUSAC, will that be consistent throughout the system, the same? The reason I ask it is because monitoring social media, 90% of the MUSAC complaints that I've heard all stem from Hicksville Station. Now, I don't know if Hicksville is playing different music or just people in Hicksville don't particularly care for smooth jazz or easy listening or whatever it is they have on
I'll
music.
give you what the answer probably is.
But Hicksville, for some reason,
No, it's not the type of music, it's that the way that Hicksville is constructed, you're upstairs,
yeah,
you can hear it a lot better.
oh,
The
okay.
other stations, you're out on the street, you don't hear it as
So
much.
it's just like
There-
background.
There it's
Hicksville, that's
like,
like on, okay.
because you're up and you're a bit and you hear it.
Okay,
So I'm just guessing, my guess is not by why, but we could ask. You
so
know.
it's not the type of music, it's
I
just
think
the
it's just
construction of
the-
the
I think
acoustics of
so. I
Hicksville
think so.
Station.
I
Okay.
think so, that's my guess, because I take both those stations, and I can tell the difference between the two.
Wait till they start doing it on the trains. You know, the new trains are gonna have these screens and all this kind of,
That's good, that's another point,
and I think we have to,
we have to
that
ask.
people are complaining about this music means the next step is the new cars with these screens and what's gonna be on them, and the railroad's gonna get hit with complaints.
That's
People
an
aren't
important
gonna
issue.
love 'em.
The M9s, we were told that, we've been asking that before they go into service, that we want to see one, tour one beforehand. We were told yes, but
They haven't.
there are political reasons as to when and how it can be done, and how it's gonna be brought out, who's gonna be doing the ceremony. That's not our issue. Just what is
Cookies,
what are
too.
we gonna do, and what do we have an idea as to when they're gonna be rolled out, and make sure that we look at in some way.
Right.
Because we're gonna get called on it, it'd be nice if, we do know that a lot of our recommendations were not listened to. So we're assuming that some of our complaints bear out, but we'll hopefully not. But we do wanna see it.
Yep.
And they first said yes, and then there's some now opinion of who does the ceremony and,
Right.
but want to remind them that.
Yep, absolutely.
You missed a couple of things, but anything you want to bring up or ask about? Anything that's,
I'm good.
we discussed the positive train control issues, and we discussed a lot of those kind of things. Now, yours is a new second track, right?
Yes.
So, I'm gonna ask you an issue that we have at my station, because we have the second track. When they say on the board, it's, you were saying, the Penn Station is on track, do they say south side, do they want to, do they have signs that say 1A and 2B on the tracks?
They do. They do. You can clearly see it, and they even have extra signs where it says if you're going out westbound, you have to get on this track.
good.
Good, so
Which is
we,
1A.
so if they have been doing, so maybe we need to make sure.
Okay.
it's-
So as long as it's clear, it just needs to say station.
They don't have it in mind, so we're like, well, I don't know, which is one, which is two, which is.
And it looks more like it's just like some cardboard thing that they just stuck on.
Oh, it's temporary, I see, I understand. Well, I'd make that clear, because this station,
No,
maybe
I
your
just-
station had the same thing, and it's gone.
Maybe they tore it off or something.
Yeah, maybe but that's not,
They wouldn't do that because the music calms people down, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't tear off signs.
Yeah.
That's probably why they have the music, right?
it's like, that sounds like a 1984 thing, doesn't it? Programmed and.
Do you guys have anything you guys want to ask us about? That we want to raise or
One more, it's a back burner issue, it's
Okay.
not nothing, just if you get around to it, it is. It'd be interesting to find out, or at least get on the list for when they hold focus groups. From what I understand, occasionally they have focus groups, and it'd be interesting to know when they have them, and what they're asking the riders, and maybe some of the feedback from, they have a focus group, well, they had it for a reason, what kind of feedback did they get? And did they act on it, did they not act on it,
Well, Jerry,
MTA
I
does them, I don't know if Long Island Railroad even does them on their own.
I think they did one recently, because I remember hearing it on
Metro,
social
I
media, a
know
couple of
that-
people were saying that they were on a particular,
Right, because I know a couple of years ago, we were actually invited to observe the focus groups from Metro North. And so they have their control room, they're asking the focus group and we're behind the glass. So we could find out if, when they do that, if we could,
Well, we did that for the M9.
okay.
We had people observing the focus group. But then we had to push to find out about that, so yeah, you're right.
yeah, so it'd be just nice if they would inform us when they're doing it and what they're doing,
Right.
I mean, I was on one, well, I'll tell you how long ago it was for the double deckers, And like Mark said, sometimes you make recommendations and they don't listen to you. Because we had some people I was with, we all kind of didn't like the color that color scheme they picked out.
Right.
And when I got on the commuter council, I actually questioned it, and I was told, well, we had a psychologist come in, the color that they selected is very soothing. Why the hell did they ask us
Why
if they were gonna
ask,
hire
right.
a psychologist to
Yeah.
tell them what color to make the seats? Why did they ask the focus group? I don't understand.
I wish we had more people, but I'm gonna throw, because you weren't here
Yeah.
at the time, a past issue that we've brought up, and I would like to maybe think about bringing it up again, but I'm gonna, publicly, I'll ask you what you think. We've always been concerned about maintenance at the stations and how it, it's dirty and the bathrooms get so filthy so quickly, and we could never get answers as to what their schedules are and what they do. So in the past, we have asked, and what I brought up as an example was if you go to the elevator where you work in the building, at work, there's a sign that says, last inspected, if you want a copy of this inspection book, go to so-and-so. I just would want to pass that every waiting room should say when it was last inspected, and so people feel that it is being looked at and what is being done. In the past, they've obviously just ignored it, they haven't said yes or no, but there is new leadership, and I'm trying to the group that we should try that again.
I thought they actually had that in the bathrooms, but I'm not sure.
No,
So I try to avoid
Other
the use of
places.
bathrooms at the train
Yeah,
station
I
unless.
don't try to use those
Well,
bathrooms.
well, everything, when they're mopped, when they're
Oh,
cleaned,
yeah, no,
when
I
they're-
guess.
when the platforms are being looked at, I mean, we wanna know
Right.
Little Neck.
I would redo the same thing we did in the past, if everyone agrees.
Which is, to,
We've done public calls for that, for that, but under the past railroad leadership, it wasn't gonna go anywhere. I'm sure it's more of an MTA issue than a railroad issue, I doubt they can just decide that on their own.
No, I think
a
they-
labor issue too.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I think leadership, I think it's probably a liability issue for them, never mind,
But to put up a sign that says this was last cleaned at this time.
where the records can be found, and,
Well, not the records.
it should be online, it really should be, it should be
When it's
online.
cleaned?
Was less inspected and cleaned, less inspected especially,
That's not like an elevator.
platforms, when they were.
Oh, no. Oh. Well,
Anyway,
look, if someone
anyway.
trips and, if someone, but I don't think it's a.
I just,
if
people,
someone,
people
I
just
mean,
want
if
to know it's
someone,
being looked at.
Yeah.
you know, if
It's
someone
really
trips and
really
falls.
annoying. I don't think anybody's gonna go look on it,
Complain.
look it up, but it's just kinda.
You discover you get the
You get an elevator, I
information
kinda like to know that, when I see it's
Yeah, it was
a year and a half
inspected.
since it's been inspected, I get a little nervous.
Yeah.
When I see it's 2 weeks ago, I'm like, alright, maybe I'm okay.
See,
What,
we
the
never-
elevator?
Just say.
Well, an elevator is a different
See, we never had to worry about that in Patchogue, because you'd come on the platform, hey, there's no pigeon shit, they must have hit it, and because of all the pigeons we had, they hit our station like once a week, really, with the, so they were pretty good at it, but it was almost obvious when they took care of it.
So I don't know if you guys wanna look up, try to find the lease we did once in the past, maybe we can talk about rewording it.
Around when do you think it was?
It was,
Oh God, it's going back.
2 years, 3 years?
you know what, I think I called for it,
It was before Sheila's time, I think. I don't know, Bradley might have just been here.
Definitely.
it may even have been around the same time as the camera thing. It may have been a whole safety thing. I think I may have said it at the press conference with Schumer also, maybe. Because I remember he said, I don't know, he may have said, he said to me, listen, I'm not gonna say that, but I'll back you in saying it. So it may have been around that.
Well, we can do that too. We'll do a deep dive into, what's been done, what follow-up has and hasn't been.
Well, that'd be great.
And to see, and to do a methodical.
Can I ask one last issue, then I promise we'll go, because we have staff here? How do you guys, social media, are we gonna be changing what we do? We've always had an issue, because we always wanted to have like our own Facebook page, but it kind of got caught up in a lot of other,
So that's a great question. I started 2 weeks ago. So, part of what my next steps are to meet with staff and see what has been done and what the process has been. Sheila is our social media maven, so I really wanna sit down with her, and she just stepped out, and look at the process and how it all comes together. And, help to develop.
and our website. In the past, a lot of members didn't want their picture on it, a lot of things. I think we should poll the council again, because people may want their picture and their bio on the website of our council.
I think the leaders, my
It's a-
personal thought is that the
Doesn't make sense
leadership
to me.
of
Only on
each of the
Jay's website.
councils should
It's
have
on
that
yours, nothing's
information.
bad happened to be had.
That's my opinion. I'm not a voting member. So that is up to you all, but I think that since you represent riders, people like to know who.
Well, I've always been in favor of having it. Our personnel's changed since it was voted down, but maybe we should take it up again and, you
Yeah,
know,
that's fine.
and I think everyone should know who they are.
Every MTA board member is up on the MTA's website. I don't know anyone who's opted out of that or anyone who said.
I don't know if opt-out was an option.
No, it wasn't, but I would think that if a board member said, I don't want my picture, I wonder what they do. They put up like a silhouette.
How many,
No, no.
how many, I hate to say it as a captain, I always don't want their picture up, so.
These people, yeah, that's a point.
But one of the things that we also have been talking about is getting a generic card, so that it's easier to hand out
We
without
had
having to
one
give.
years
Yeah.
ago, we did it
Okay,
years
so
ago, so it's somewhere there, yeah.
I think that that's easier than when you're sitting next to somebody talking to them, and they say, oh, you do that, can I have your card? It's like, here's my card. You don't need to know my name or phone number or my email address, but, I mean, you certainly can,
I've
but.
given out my email address to almost anybody who asks.
Because nobody asked you, right? Please, ask me for my email.
Oh, I said almost
Please,
anybody who's
please.
asked. There's Mr. X, I said not given anything to him. There's Murray Bowden, I think it's only two that didn't really ask me, but I would never give them anything.
Okay.
So we all
And being on a
have-
community board, there are a number of people,
we all have.
But this
my local
isn't,
community board
this
of
isn't
Queens,
branded.
on that, and that's a number of people haven't been
Everyone is-
able
Also the old address and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it
My
should be
personal
branded.
email address.
I may even have paid for this myself.
But as far as this
Yeah.
council goes, I
Right.
haven't found,
Because I mean, you know,
You know,
with
no,
this
it's just
technology,
one.
you can pretty
Yeah.
much
you
do
know,
everything,
one
anything, so
annoying.
we should do something.
One last thing, and I
Well,
promise.
not annoying.
Oh,
even
you can
worse.
move to adjourn.
And I learned from Ira, never assume anybody's email address, because there was another Ira Greenberg who was not very happy with some of the emails I was sending. I was like, because you're Ira,
Just
you
as a
Ira
side,
R?
I'm Ira R. Green.
Ira R, so it's
My-
Ira R.
My sister-in-law sent something to Ira Greenberg.
I don't mistake it anymore, I always
I
make
had
sure
to
that.
change my hotstuff.com to something else. I kept going Ira. Last thing, I think we want to reschedule and do a meet the council
Yeah.
in Penn Station. We're always fine
Great.
doing that, but we have to pick the date ahead of time. Where we set up a table in Penn Station, on
Okay.
council, and we talk
And we
about
stand
the
there and
riders.
listen to people.
People sign, add onto our email address.
Okay.
And we take in the concerns that they give us, which is always a lot, actually. We then make a letter out of it to the railroad and pass on everything on to them, wait for a response. People seem to like it, but we haven't done it since some of the
Yeah.
social media has been more active. I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of response we're gonna get, you know.
Could do
people-
both.
I don't know.
Easily do.
I'm just saying, I don't know what kind of response we're gonna
Yeah.
get from those people, because it's a
No,
different,
right,
it's a little
but,
different. They may become more
Yeah.
aggressive with us than
Yeah.
used to be just with the railroad, but we have to do it. We have
No,
to-
no, because of social media, you get less, one, two, the aggressive people are just on social media. Very few people are gonna come up to your face and call you names. There will be a couple,
Whatever,
but,
we're
there'll
out
be a
there.
couple, but
It's
most
okay.
people
We'll send them to you.
won't be.
You give me your old email address.
or the other Ira Greenbergs, right?
Yeah, that's good, yes, that's.
I mean, one
He
of the
loves me
other-
already.
One of the other options in addition is to do a social media town hall or
Well, that's
live.
it,
Yeah.
we had discussed that with Phil Lang, he agreed to do it.
Okay,
But we have to figure somebody else who knows how to, that's the last thing we were
Right.
discussing, is someone who knows how to put that together. We want to do not social media, what do they call it, a webcast, whatever it is, with him, us.
Yeah, that, you know, what, remember there was that Meet the Presidents thing?
Yep.
And we had one where like so few people came,
Right,
because
right.
people on their way home, they don't wanna stop at Jamaica and ask a question to the president. But social
That's right,
media,
we just need someone,
Yeah.
I suggested
a
even
virtual
hiring,
meeting would be
I suggested
probably great.
even hiring a consultant to do that one project for us, who specializes in that.
Really?
I suggested that.
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
I think it's time to do that.
We've been talking for the last 4 months about putting that together.
sorry, to do
A virtual,
Virtual town hall.
webcast with, sponsor with,
a virtual town hall, that's.
yes, with
Yeah.
Phil Lang.
Or meet the president, whatever we used to call it,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And you
whatever we
could,
call
you
it.
could be there too.
Well, we're gonna ask-
virtually
we're
there.
gonna- we should get the questions to him. You know,
Yeah, in the cyber area, and people, you know, people.
So, that's something else.
We'll get holograms.
This way Phil can be at 3 places at
Yeah.
once,
Yeah.
like he likes to be,
The emergency Long Island Railroad President hologram.
the Trump's one.
It's so Star Trek.
Yep.
Around when would you look to do the in-person meet the council table? I mean, holidays are coming,
I know.
right, so,
Beginning of December? Depending on the holiday. middle of the
Oh,
holiday schedule.
they're gonna say no, but do it anyway.
Who's gonna say
the fare increase hearings will probably be,
They're in March, aren't they, or?
You know what?
No, end of
They're not-
November.
They're not
End of
gonna say
November?
no. They didn't say no when we did this 2 days before the strike was supposed to go into effect. Remember, we did the whole strike
Yeah.
thing, and they didn't say no. I don't think they're gonna say no to wherever we want.
with the president?
Yeah,
So
I don't, no, to meet the council.
Oh, no, I'm talking about
Meet the
this
council.
virtual
Well,
town
so
hall. Oh, no,
they-
meet the council, then I gotta get, no.
That's why, yeah.
So that, I mean, doing that around the fair hearings would be great.
So,
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah,
I know you meant that, but yes, and meet the council.
I think
that would
right
be
after
good.
Thanksgiving, probably, if we can, if we might have.
That'd be right after all the.
But we asked that all the members come. We need bodies, otherwise
Right.
it doesn't work. This time, next time, we always
I
promise.
apologize, I have to go.
We should do one in Brooklyn, we should
Safe
do one
travels.
in, well, especially with the other ticket, and one in Jamaica.
If members, because some members, don't take that, like
Thank you.
Jamaica and stuff like that. that's
Right.
wrong with that. But just to go back to us, our mainstay in Penn Station, we know we get a good turnout,
yeah.
Yeah,
to start with, and
Yeah,
then Brooklyn, we
that's
wanted,
fine.
because we wanna go into the issue of the shuttle, the scooter, all the issues that are, we wanting to focus on that
yeah.
with those members, but it's just, I think we need to go back to what we.
Are we still doing the meet the manager, station manager?
Oh,
thing?
God, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one by me.
Just know that was our proposal, just, that we get credit.
Right, they've got
At the station.
ambassadors now, right?
Yeah.
Seen them.
Station ambassadors.
When they first started it, Phil was almost trying to dance every dance. I don't know how the hell he was doing it. But he was going out with most of the managers. Hopefully he's throttled back on that a little bit, but no, in fact, one of the things I think we should mention to the railroad is, appreciate the fact, it wasn't just the major stations. I mean, he's gone to stations where it's like, what is he thinking? I mean, Medford, they went to Medford Station. I think they have maybe 8 to 10 riders a day out of Medford Station, and they went to Medford Station. They went to Spionk, which is in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, it's a terminus for our branch. But I mean, they went to Medford, they went to Spionk, they went to Great River, which is a very small station. I'm surprised they didn't hit Central
I
Islip yet.
haven't seen,
I'm pretty sure, I know they hit Ronkonkoma, I'm pretty sure they hit Brentwood, so I don't.
okay.
He did White Edge, I think.
Yeah, I think he did Wyandotte, so I mean,
I'm saying, so you were before that, so.
but I mean, in the past,
Yeah.
if they ever did anything like that, it was just Huntington, Hicksville, maybe Ronkonkoma, Babylon, but they never hit like a station like Great River. And I think it's great, I mean, that they're actually trying to reach out to
Yeah.
everyone. I mean, that's something that should be complimented, I mean.
And do you wanna also, we'll look at meet the council, in person, both around the fair hearings, but also around the 20-year needs assessment. Right, cause that, then it's kind of like, give us what do you want to see in the next 20 years?
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. There is something I had asked Bill, I think he started to work on it, but I want to give out to meet the councils. I want to get a handout of 5 or 6 things that you don't know the railroad does, positive things. And one is if you're late for work, you get the railroad
Right.
give you a note. Do that just to give out to people, not lauding the railroad, but just as if we're helping riders understand some things they